Of all my videos, this is probably going to be the one that gets the most views. I've been holding off on this for a very long time. If it gets deleted, go to Rumble. I'll put it up there. Basically, it's hard to fit the title, but it's about Pen Argyl teacher impregnates student's married mother of 4, keeps his job while the youngest son is removed from his class when Scott Kupec walks in the room. This is a real sword account. It needs to be told. You know, the school district, of course, says, shh, don't tell anyone, you know, you're going to hurt the kid. Well, no. It's the school district that hurt the kid. It wasn't the kid who hurt the kid. It wasn't, you know, anybody else but the school system's fault here. So what you got here, just so you know, the Pen Argyl School District doesn't give any care about your kids. All right. There is a senior male student about to graduate from Pen Argyl High School. And if he has a brain in his head, or if he has a friend who has a brain in their head, every resident in this school district is going to become poorer, as the school district is going to possibly lose millions of dollars because he is going to sue the living daylights out of the school system after he turns 18. It doesn't matter if his sister was homecoming queen or prom queen. It doesn't matter that his older brothers were sports stars. His money payday is guaranteed at the expense of your school board and your administration. Now, this immediately, you've got these detractors. Oh, this is about 2 consenting adults. No, it's not about 2 consenting adults. This is about a male teacher and the entire school administration breaching their duty to this 5th grade boy and separating the boy from his class anytime the teacher who destroyed his parents' marriage would go to the boy's math class to do additional instruction for the teacher. Every kid in this boy's class remembers when Mr. Kupec walked in the class and this boy was forced to remove himself from the class. I recall one of those students tell me how he couldn't figure out why the boy would leave every time Scott Kupec came in the room. The boy had to leave the class, according to Allan McFall, because every teacher has a constitutional right to have sex with the mothers of children in the school. Do you got that? Did you hear me? Okay. This is your school district's solicitor. Okay. Now, who is this school solicitor protecting here? Is he looking out for the boy or the children in the school? Nope. Looking out for Scott Kupec. So does this stun you? It doesn't stun the people in Pen Argyl. It's kind of weird. You know, probably almost half of them have been beaten down so much that they're afraid to speak out. This is a big thing. People are afraid. Oh, you know, if I speak out, oh, I'll hurt the kid. Oh. No. You speak out when something's wrong. And, you know, the other half, well, not the other half, but, you know, we all know they're out there, those women who marriage is a one-way street. And it's a punchline for, you know, going to hit you with alimony and child support. A lot of women in this society really don't value marriage at all. So they're not stunned because, you know, they're willing participants in this kind of activity. Now, I may have the dates wrong, but around 2016-17, the younger boy's sister was mentored by the middle school teacher Scott Kupec, the guy who back in 2011 was involved in a hit and run and DUI. And months before that, Kupec resigned from coaching the boys' Pen Argyl wrestling team, which was in district tournaments. Before he resigned, students were talking about bringing beer to the practices. And I want you all to think about this. I mean, I heard of this because people were talking to my older son. And if I heard of it, other parents knew about this too. And, of course, Kupec is no longer there. And who takes over? The assistant coaches. And where were they when these boys on the wrestling team were bringing beers? Does it matter the school district? No. Just keep letting it go by. So Pen Argyl's teacher, Scott Kupec, became involved with a tort affair with the married mother of the girl that Kupec was mentoring. The girl, the boy, the youngest boy, and the older boys, and the father, as well as the school district and some of the school residents, became aware of the situation around December 2018. Now, at the time, Scott Kupec, for some reason, had become a math teacher mentor, and part of his job was to instruct the fifth grade boys teacher in the math class, or tutor them, or whatever the heck it is. Now, the boy, justifiably refused to sit in the same class as Kupec, the man who destroyed his family and was obviously doing things to his mother that he preferred not to think about. So the school district decided to separate the boy from his math class when Mr. Kupec was in the room. Now, I had inquired of the Solicitor Allan McFall, why didn't you just fire Kupec? And the solicitor indicated to me that it was decided, the board decided that Kupec had a constitutional right to have sex with any parent of a student he wanted. Think about how sick that is. Your school board. Just so you know, Kupec impregnated the boy's mother. And before, and then there was a divorce. And, because like any modern woman, what would she do? Just drop your husband and marry Kupec. I guess that's what they do nowadays. We used to have a word for those people. So Kupec has been teaching in the school district for up until 2024-25 school year, and was making, and probably still is making, over $96,000 a year. And he's seeking a superintendent's job. Now, I have my money is on that Scott Kupec wants the Pen Argyl superintendent's job. Because as far as I know, this guy that we got in there, Kupec, to me, from what I've read, I've seen interim superintendent. So I think Scott Kupec's going to actually want to be the superintendent here. This harkens back to 2011 when we had two police officers on the Pen Argyl police force, and they were vying for the chief of police position. And it turned out one of them, when he was 19, working for Pen Argyl, like decades prior, he was charged with having sexual relations with I saw in the paper 14, but a neighbor told me a 16-year-old girl. Long story, she was having sex with him in the back of his police car, and she got a sexually transmitted disease, and so she started naming everybody she was having sex with, and that's where he came up. But anyway, he pled guilty to that, as far as we know, but, district attorney's office can't find anything. And then, so he was knocked out of the running. And then you had another police officer who was known for having numerous relations with women all over Pen Argyl. And he gave one a baby. She used to live like 5 houses away from me. So this is the kind of thing we put up with in Pen Argyl, because we let it happen. So anyway, is this a one-time situation? The Scott Kupec thing? You decide. 2021, high school graduation. Diplomas are given out by the same person to all graduates, except for some reason, the youngest daughter of 2 sisters who moved here in like 2004 is handed a diploma by the Pen Argyl Area principal, Plainfield principal, Jeff Hancock. And, big smile, cheek-to-cheek hug. Now, within hours, it is learned that Hancock is involved with the student's mother, and they're going to get married. And right after she graduated, they sold their house. Yeah. Oh no, said one daughter. Hancock started dating the mother after the parents separated. Of course. Yeah. Isn't that always the way it happens? It's never before. The guy never, or the person never broke up the marriage. It happened after the marriage was broken. But whatever, that's what she says. So, now you have Jeff Hancock started in the Pen Argyl school system as Wingap assistant principal in July 2013 through 2019. Just so you know, at that time the daughters were in the middle school. The mother and the father had moved with the daughters into the area in 2004, I think it was. So in 2013, the youngest daughter was around 10, and the oldest was around 13, and they were in the middle school. Now it was Jeff Hancock poaching the mother of the sisters while he was assistant at Wingap Middle School, or just when he was principal at the elementary school. Well, we know Hancock was clearly involved with the student's mother while the daughters were students in the school district. And we can all be assured that if Hancock did break up the marriage, the Pen Argyl Area School Board and anyone in the school administration could care less, because the school board is only concerned about teachers sexually satisfying themselves. No matter how many marriages are broken, the damage done to the students by divorce doesn't matter to our school board. Just let it ride. The students are just there because they get paid money. That's all. But what they're really looking out for, they're looking out for their people in the school. Their staff. Now, guaranteed sex from unfaithful married mothers is, of course, not the only benefit of being a male connected to the elite in the school district. Proximity to nubile females is also. Now, there's nothing like having not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 men coaching 10, 15 girls on the tennis team. One of them is 27. The other's 23. What could possibly happen, right? But that's for another video. So now all the local divorce by choice women and women who use abortion as birth control, and the few men in the school district who have money or a line of BS who are the players are saying the government has no right to interfere with adult relations between consulting adults. To you immoral people, get behind me, Satan. Lawyers are not permitted to have sexual relations with their clients, or they will be suspended or disbarred. Nowadays, not back then, but even here, police and district attorneys are not permitted to have sexual relations with members of the public when they are engaged in law enforcement prosecutions under penalty of firing. So, domestic violence woman, cops come in, give a little comfort, they're gone, okay? Employees of nursing home and assisted living facilities are not permitted relations with the client's patients or the relatives under penalty of firing. Hotel and hospitality facilities have rules under penalty of firing from engaging in relations with people who are booked at the facilities. Doctors engaged in mental health treatment and those like practitioners, like psychologists, who are treating somebody for mental health problems are forbidden from relations with those they treat. A doctor will get suspended or I don't know what they call it when they lose their license. And I'm certain the psychologists will lose whatever certificate they have to treat people. Surprisingly, 11% of doctors admit to having sexual relations with their patients. And this is just another compelling reason to start suspending doctors from their practice of medicine. On that note, real quick, up until the beginning of this year, all doctors at teaching hospitals were permitted, and this has been happening for decades in Pennsylvania, where if you're unconscious, they just take it upon themselves without your consent to do vaginal and rectal probes and examinations, they call it. Yep, that's been going on for decades. And it wasn't until this year, I think it was somebody in the city found out about it, and they finally put a bill, finally got a law through. I want you to think about this because, Josh Shapiro used to be Attorney General for, I don't know, like 5 or 8 years, and his father was a doctor. And you don't ever think that, this came up in conversation. Well, son, do you know that we have pervert doctors who are doing anal probes and vaginal probes and, probing around all these women and men, and they don't even know about it. And Josh Shapiro never did a damn thing about it, So think about that. Just remember, Josh Shapiro doesn't give anything about you. Doesn't care about you in the least because he let this go on and he had reason to know by virtue of his dad, Dr. Steve. And on that note, we should all be contacting Dave Sunday, the Rhino Republican, who's our Attorney General, and tell him to go after these degenerate pervert doctors and charge every last one of them with sexual assault, and to get a fund drawn up where you pay $500, $1,000 a pop to people who turn these creeps in. Now, getting back to it, teachers are supposed to teach. Teacher sexual relations with parents of students in the district is a breach of fiduciary duty to the student. Teachers who have relations with parents of students must be fired. Doesn't matter when it happened, they must be terminated. Doesn't matter that they've been letting it fly. No. You did this, you're gone. Out the door. Your pension should be gotten also. Now, under this school administration, the breaking up of marriages and the fornication of teachers and parents to the detriment of students has not only been permitted, it's been encouraged. Now, this putting prurient desires of teachers and administrators ahead of the students has got to end. And the current administration, which is hired by the board, they are not going to end this policy. They are going to permit it. Fathers in the school district shouldn't have to expect that their kid's teacher is going to be fishing for sex from their wives. Fathers from the school district shouldn't have to be worried that the teachers are targeting their wives for sex. Now, like I said, when this 5th grade boy brings a suit, he's a senior now, these school district board members are just going to go, oh, what can we do? It's a constitutional right. And we know that's not reality. Judge ain't going to instruct that at all. The school district is a bunch of deviants. Now, we have to stop this. The residents have to organize. And for each school board member returning, or former school board member seeking to get on the ballot, or seeking a position in the school board, the residents from that area, you have to get together. You have to figure one of you, only one, because you don't want to split the vote, is going to be the write-in candidate. You must take an interest in what's going on in this school district. It should be easier now than ever. These people are bad. You know they're bad. Get rid of them. So people are going to, you have to get together and get people and choose it for each, oh, Hackman is running. Okay, so we have to get somebody running against her. Okay, who's going to be, pick them, make sure they're all on board. The school election is coming up in less than a month. We got to get rid of these people. The school district should be wiped clean of the filth that saturates it. If Kupec and the school board that permitted him and enabled him to breach the fiduciary duty to the student are still employed or in power, I fear the monetary damages from a jury are just going to be astronomical. I feel for this kid. I think he should be remunerated. I wish the school board members were personally liable for this, but unfortunately in our system, they're not. And Kupec, he should be personally liable for what he's done, but he's not. So you have to get together people who are going to run as write-in candidates, spread the word. You got to fire this administration. Get on social media, get together in groups, whatever. Now, who are these people who are in charge, who you must be gotten rid of? Well, of course, Allan McFall. No business being the solicitor here. But in order to fire him, you need to change the administration. In order to change the administration, you have to change the board members. So we've got to change the board members. Lisa Hackman and John Daly Jr. and Ethan Haberl and Robert Rutt were all on the board when the Kupec thing was going on. And then 2020 to 21, when the Hancock thing was going on, let's see. The members were Hackman, of course, Jason Keenhold, Jeff Moyer, John Daly, Robert Rutt, Ethan Haberl. Oh, and there's this guy who keeps running. I think his name is Knorr, Knorr. He's been in and out of the school board while this was happening. Don't elect him either. You got to find a new slate. So you got a few weeks. Get motivated. And, let's get rid of the scum.